Here it is. It is Steelers Ravens week. And if you know anything about football, and if you've been watching, this hair and this forehead is popping today. But if you are like football, if you've watched football for any amount of time, you have to be excited to see a good old-fashioned Ravens Steelers football game, because this is it. Like, this is what football is. It's going to be hard hitting. It might be low scoring. There's going to be a lot of great defense being played. Like, this is the pinnacle of football. And as a Steelers fan, I'm super excited to see this matchup. Not only because I'm very curious to see how this team bounces back after having that very highly contested win against Washington last week. And now we get to play Ravens. We get to play the Ravens. They're our rivals. They're behind us in the AFC North standings. They're like our division foes, and they have been for some time. And we have some of their players that they used to have. They have some of our players. And it's just one of those games that I'm really excited to see what happens, what goes on, and all these different things. I will be honest and say, we all know my thoughts about Lamar Jackson. I have never shied away from being a Lamar Jackson supporter and hoping Lamar Jackson does well. This is the week where I hope Lamar Jackson does well, but not well enough to win. I hope he does okay, but not well enough to win. I hope Derrick Henry gets 60 yards. I hope this Ravens offense looks blah, because that is what I'm hoping for, because I want my Steelers to win. And to be honest with you, historically, the Ravens offense has looked blah when they play my Steelers. So here we are, Steelers Ravens week. I have my terrible towel. I'm waving my terrible towel for my team. That was a little chaotic, but I'm waving my terrible towel. I'm hoping the Steelers get this done this week. As I do in every video heading into a game, let me get to the other side of this video so I can tell you a couple of things that I'm going to be paying attention to while this game is going on. This is one of those games where it's like you throw everything out the window, right? Historically, or this season, the Steelers have had a fantastic defense. Okay, cool. The Ravens this season have had a tremendous offense. Okay, cool. The Steelers haven't been able to, I think they're ranked like 21st in sacks. Okay, cool. The Ravens rank 4th in sacks. Okay, cool. This is a rivalry game. If you are a college football fan, if you watch college football, you know anytime rivals play, you throw all things out the window and it just becomes, it's time to play. I think this game is going to be interesting because this is the first game in a long time that I can remember that the Steelers have been good. Like, the Steelers historically the past 4 or 5 years haven't had an offense. So this is the first time we're coming into this game. We have an offense and we think that we can score points. Historically, we would come into this game and we would say, okay, if we can hold the Ravens under 20, we have a chance. That was always our game plan. This game, obviously, I still want to hold the Ravens under 20, but this time I'm like, okay, I think this defense can score points, or this offense can score points. And so this game this week is going to be very interesting. I personally think it's going to be the game of the week, but I'm curious to see how it goes and how this plays out. The other thing that's going to be interesting about this game is historically, Justin Tucker has been the best kicker in this series. And so I always usually give the edge to the Ravens because of Justin Tucker. But this year, Justin Tucker, from beyond 50 and, otherwise, hasn't really been that great. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this game goes. I'm excited to see it. I know our corners are going to be super aggressive. And I'm going to be honest, I don't mind aggressive corners. I actually like aggressive corners, but I don't like penalties. And I know I can't have one without the other, but I needed to say that it frustrates me when we get penalties, but I love the aggressiveness. I love that this Steelers team is fighting to win every single possession, whether they're on offense, defense, special teams. I love it. I love what I'm seeing from the Steelers. So let me get into the 3 things I'm going to be looking for in this game. And really, quite frankly, the things that usually determine these games, that have determined these games. And I just want to say here, the Ravens are on a 3-game losing streak when it comes to the Steelers. And historically, Lamar has his worst games when it comes against the Steelers. And I hope all of those things, I hope they all continue. But let me get into the 3 things that I'm going to be paying attention to for this game as we match up against the Ravens. The first thing I'm going to be looking for, and this should come as no surprise, it's kind of weird seeing my terrible towel here, but it should come as no surprise, it's going to be turnovers. Can the Steelers produce turnovers, and can the Steelers not turn over the ball? So historically, the way we beat the Ravens is we are able to turn them over. We are able to get more possessions than them, and thus, because our offense hasn't been very good, thus it helps us win games. So I am very curious to see how we're able to get turnovers against this Ravens team. Last week, the only turnover we got was on special teams, and guess what? That was just enough for us to do what we needed to do and win that game. So I'm going to be curious to see if the Steelers are able to turn over the Ravens, and if they turn them over, how many points can they score off of those turnovers? I'm also going to be paying attention to special teams here, because these are those games where it's like a missed field goal, a blocked field goal, a punt return, like all of those little things happen to usually turn these games. So I'm very curious to see what this turnover margin is going to look like, because I think that's going to be super important to a Steelers victory. So I'm going to be paying attention to that. The second thing I'm going to be paying attention to is the ultimate battle. The Steelers defense against this Ravens offense. It is the ultimate football showdown, right? And you want a really good defense against a really good offense. And we're going to get that this week. And it's going to be the Steelers defense against the Ravens offense. That's where this game is going to be won. If the Steelers offense can stop the Ravens, if the Steelers defense can stop the Ravens offense, this game should be easy. The Steelers should win this game. But if the Ravens offense is having their way with the Steelers defense, it's going to be very interesting. And so I am very curious to see this battle. Obviously, we all know TJ Watt's not going to get a holding call. So that's going to be that. We already know the Steelers defensive line is going to be working and grinding and doing what they're supposed to do. But I'm very curious to see what this game looks like and how the Steelers defense it plays against this Ravens offense. I think I do want to say, like, the refs, I don't even want to get into that. All I hope for is that this game is called fairly. Like, just be fair. Just be fair. Just be consistently bad. Don't pick and choose. Just be consistently bad. I also find it really funny that the Steelers defense is ranked like number 9 or something crazy, but we rank 21st in sacks. That lets you know everything you need to know, that these refs are actually effing terrible. And I'll get off this soapbox. But the second thing I'm going to be looking for is the battle of the Steelers defense against this Ravens offense. I'm fascinated by it. I can't wait to see it. I think, like, I can't wait to see it. I think that's going to be the ball game. The third thing is I'm curious to see how Wilson does against this secondary against the Ravens, because it is bad. We've all watched it be bad. We all watched Cincinnati torch this secondary. Like, we all saw it. It's just Cincinnati couldn't get a stop. And so Cincinnati's defense isn't the Steelers' defense, but we all watched that Cincinnati Bengals offense torch the Ravens defense. Now, I'm not here to say that the Cincinnati Bengals offense, like, we're them and we have Jamar Chase and things like that, because, you know, we might have our own version of that. We have George Pickens, we have Mike Williams, but I am very curious to see how the Steelers offense is able to compete against this Ravens secondary. I'm very fascinated with that, because I wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers come out and try to establish a run game and use that to open up the pass. Let's be honest, that's what the Steelers usually do, like a lot of play action. So I'm not saying anything that's like new or different, but very curious to see how the Steelers passing game plays against this Ravens secondary. So I'm very curious to see so many different moving parts. And to be honest, if I'm being honest with you, I am very curious to see every single phase of this game. I want to see our special teams be special. I want to see our offense make plays, and I want to see our defense get 3 turnovers, and I want to see our defense make Lamar Jackson look like a joke. That would be phenomenal. And I hate that I said that out loud, but I would love for this Steelers defense to show up and show out. I don't know if they will, but I would love to see it. The other thing I love too is that I love that we got to play Jaden Daniels before this Lamar game. Not saying that Jaden Daniels is Lamar, but he does have the ability to scramble. And so I'm very curious to see how Patrick Queen, which is kind of funny because he was with the Ravens last year, but I'm very curious to see like how Patrick Queen plays this game, because he also might be the key to this game. He had a very good game last week against the Commanders. So I'm very curious to see how this game works out. And so I'm excited. excited. I'm excited for any Steelers-Ravens week. I've said from the offseason when the schedule released, this is the thick of our schedule. This is the heart of our schedule. The one thing I know about the Steelers team is they're going to be ready to battle. Coach Tomlin is going to have them ready to go and ready for battle, especially against their rivals. Having said all of that, it should be no surprise who I'm picking. I am rolling with my team. I'm going to pick the Steelers to win this game. Mainly because this game is being at home. I think the Steelers just came off of a really good win, and I'm hoping that that momentum carries into this game. And so I'm really curious to see like how this game goes, how this game shapes out, and to see what happens. And I hope that Derrick Henry doesn't have a good game, and I hope that Lamar Jackson has a worse game. And that's just what I'm going to say. And I'm not going to apologize for it. And after this game, I hope Lamar goes off and does his thing until he plays the Steelers again. But I'm going to roll with the Steelers. It is Steelers-Ravens week, and I would not be a real Steelers fan if I said anything opposite of everything I said in this video. So, as I started with this video, here we go, Steelers, here we go. Well, I didn't really start this video that way, but really, anyways, I'm going to end this video here. I'm picking my Steelers to win this game, and it's kind of cool to have my terrible towel here because I didn't realize how much I miss waving this terrible towel. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of those things. I would love to hear any of your comments, and let me know if you're going to be watching this game, and let me know if you're just as excited as I am to watch this good old-fashioned Steelers-Ravens football. Here we go.